Hey you guys, welcome back to Elena's Rotten Bareback.
I'm sorry. What the fuck why did you do the intro? I do the intro.
I think I just kind of felt like it.
Well, I'm gonna be shorter than you, so bitch, pull the fuck back up. Okay, you guys, so today we're going to be talking about my many boyfriends that I have, because I'm actually a skank ass hoe. So Danny and I are bar girls, okay? So we go out to the bar like every single weekend, and we have this favorite bar of ours.
What's it called, Elena? Actually, don't give it away.
Yeah, because they will show up. But so I went there once, and then this guy, we're gonna call him Capito. He was really infatuated by me, and so like we would always flirt with each other, and then he would be like, oh my god, you're so hot. Like everyone in here is kind of just like, they're talking about how hot you are and how I have the baddest bitch, and I'm like, duh.
Wait, who are we talking about? Steakhouse?
Who is Steakhouse?
Mexican Steakhouse, Irvine. Oops, put that out.
Oops, is that him? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we have him, my little love interest, and then we also have this other guy. We're gonna call him Pooey, and Pooey and Capito are friends. And so whenever I see them, I'm always just kind of like, babe, oh my god, my boyfriend, and I'm like, my boyfriend's here. I love doing that, you guys. I just like going to the bars and just calling these guys my boyfriend until
She does that all the time.
Until they get the idea that they are just my boyfriend. And so I'll be like, oh my god, baby, how are you? And we'll just like flirt and stuff. And I'm like, my boyfriend. And then one time I was talking to this other guy, and I invited him to this place where my two other boyfriends are already there. So my two boyfriends who are best friends, they're there. And then I'm like, okay, Danny, I have this other guy coming, like this and that. He's 6'7". He comes over, and I'm like, oh my god, Danny, my third boyfriend's here. Like I have 3 boyfriends in this bar right now. And so he's talking to me, and then I'm talking to my other 2 boyfriends. And then Danny talks to him. Danny's like, so where's Elena? What did he tell you? Do you not remember? So I was talking.
This is so funny. Oh my god, I didn't realize we were talking about this story. He comes up to me and he's looking for her, and he's like, Danny, where's Elena? And I point to her, like from like in the distance, like she's in the distance sitting at this table with this other guy with his arm around her, and I'm just like, she's right there. And we both look at her, and she's just like living her best life with this other guy on her arm, and it was just really funny.
And then later we see him again, and then Danny was like, oh my god, what happened to Elena? And he was like, oh, she's talking to 2 other guys right now. And I'm like, those 2 guys are like my boyfriends. So it's just a little funny shenanigan of, you know, what me and Danny get into on the weekends and the weekdays.
I'm really confused. How does this pertain to anything we're about to talk about?
Oh, it doesn't.
It was just like, why are we bringing this up?
It was just funny because I just needed to tell everyone how
that's why I was so
successful
confused.
My high relationship success rate is. Like,
I was literally so confused. I was like, what topic are we doing right now? Like, what is she saying? Like, what is this for?
But today's topic, you guys, Danny introduced a topic.
So today's topic, you guys, is why online dating sucks.
Oh, Danny, why does it suck? Like, tell me.
Silent. I thought you were going to bounce off of me. I mean, there's multiple reasons as to why.
Danny and I are professional online daters. We've been on every dating app known to mankind.
Okay, the thing is that I personally like meeting guys at bars. Like, the last 2 guys I've ever been serious with, I've met at bars.
She met them authentically.
Yeah, when I say bars, I don't mean I like meeting them at bars. I would just rather meet them in person. But I met them at a bar. I happened to be at a bar. And so with online dating, I just feel like there's always expectations to be met. You don't have that, like, you know, romantic story to tell, you know? Usually when you meet someone online, the, like, ongoing joke is, like, okay, so we're going to tell our parents we met here.
Yeah.
It's just, like, no one wants to say that they met online these days.
It's kind of like, but it's so funny because I feel like a lot of love stories happening from like, oh, we met online. It's all we met online. That's all you hear. But like, nobody wants that story. Like, nobody wants to have like, oh, we met online. That's fucking, like, I don't know. It's gross. Oh my god, not me needing to fart so bad right now. But like, I'm in white and I might shit myself.
Elena.
All the laxatives that I fucking take. But online dating is like, to me, it's interesting because I've been doing it for like so long now. it's like a hit or miss because like I've met all my boyfriends from online dating apps. I've never ever met a guy authentically where it turned into something.
I think it's so normal nowadays. Like nobody wants to talk about like you can talk about it, but it's normal to meet someone online. Like everyone has a dating profile, you know, like it's normal.
Do you ever like so whenever we go out, me and Danny go out like in the daytime or like sometimes dinner time or like we'll go out to a restaurant, I'll be like, oh my god, Danny, look, they're on our first date right now.
Oh, and we like noticed that, yeah.
And it's so funny because you can always tell when someone's on like a first date because they're both just there.
Not on their phones.
They're not on their phones. They're just so hard on eye contact and they're just kind of like, they're so engaging.
Like that one time we were at the beach and you're like, Jenny, that's the first date. Mm-hmm. And they were sitting on the rocks talking and it was so cute. Like
that, I'm always like, and like you can like hear their conversation if they're getting like, you can just hear the conversation. It's not like an ordinary like, oh, we've known each other. It's kind of like a, oh, so like, what are you doing? Like their tones are different. And it's kind of like, you just hear it and you know like, oh my God, they're on a first date or like they're on a date. And it's just like, it's so cute. And it's kind of like, most likely they met through like an online dating app. And it's just so funny because like, now that's literally how it is. Like you meet on an app and then you go to get dinner. You guys sit and you guys talk.
And I actually realized I hate online dating. Like I enjoy meeting people in person.
I don't because I feel like in person is kind of like, I don't know. I love online dating because like,
well, I mean, yeah, you get to build your perfect man. Sure.
But like for me, I want them to have the buildup of like, oh my God, I'm about to meet this hot bitch. You know, like in person, it's like, okay, they're drunk when they meet me. It's whatever. They just remember that I'm hot. But in online dating, it's kind of like, oh my God, look at her pics. Obviously, they're Facetune, so I look even hotter. So they're going to be like, oh my God, like this bitch looks so hot. I can't wait to fucking meet her. Wait, you look even
hotter in person or hotter online?
I look hotter online, but I still look hot in person.
People tell me I look better in person.
You do look better in person. You look better in person for sure. Not me needing to fucking shit. Anyways, so yeah, I like online dating because it's kind of like, it hypes them up of like, oh my God, look at Elena. She's so hot. Look, this girl that I'm talking to, I'm about to meet her, you know? And it's kind of like, and then when I meet them, it's kind of like, I'm like this hot bombshell of a woman. And it's like, oh my God. And they sit there, they're all nervous. I've been doing this thing, Danny, where I've been like talking to guys that like I wouldn't normally talk to just because I want to like, I want to have the factor of like them being like, oh my God, like she's out of my league. And it hypes me up a bit. It feeds my ego. So like, I'll talk to some hot guys, but then I'll also entertain the guys that are like, let's say a 7. That when I do go on a date with them for like when I'm hungry, they'll be like, oh my God, like I want to do this beautiful supermodel. Like she's so hot. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to be here. Like I'm giving you a chance, you know, like, so don't fuck it up. And it's just so fucking funny.
Do you ever get intimidated? Or?
Never. I love first dates because like I know I will dominate first dates. And do you know why?
Why?
Because I lie about everything on the first date. It's not real to me.
We've talked about this, how you clone their personality and you mirror it.
Oh, of course. And like I'll lie about dumb shit because to me it's all a fucking game. And I'm part of the reason why like online dating doesn't work out sometimes, probably because I am like the stuff that we're talking about. Like I like if I go on a date with a guy who doesn't know tea, I will bullshit the entire date because in my head I'm thinking there is a 50-50 chance he's either going to be okay with it or not okay with it. So I'm going to assume that he's not okay with it. Therefore, what does it matter? We're not going to date anyway. So I'm going to become his perfect woman for this 2 hours that we're sitting at the dinner table.
Okay, and so has it ever happened where it turns into something more and they realize that you're nothing like you were on that first date? Or like...
No, because usually they won't.
You're like, no, because usually it just doesn't turn into anything.
Yeah, because
they're so intimidated.
Because they're not okay with tea at the end of the day. Okay. But I mean, it's fun though. Like to me, dating is like fun, and I feel like when you go on a date, it's kind of just like you have a different. Like I have, I think, I have 3 dates lined up for this week. And
what days? I thought we were hanging out all week.
Oh, by the way, Friday I'm going on a date.
During the day.
No, baby, my dates are at 7. I always tell everyone dinner's at 7. It's kind of like really classy. Dinner's at 7. Dinner's at 7.
Then what am I supposed to do? Should I hang out with my boy on Friday?
Yes, but I have a date on Friday, and I told him, I said, bring me big flowers, and I showed him all the bouquets that I had, and I said, I want a bigger bouquet. And he goes, no.
Wait,
problem.
who's this guy? Show me a photo.
He is this guy, super cute. I'll show you after.
Okay.
So adorable. 6'3", tall white man. He's a little bit older, so he's got the bag, and he's
old?
I think like 34. We were on FaceTime.
Oh, no wonder why. It's because you're passing yourself off as 60 these days. So you just want to date up. Okay.
Yes.
I forgot.
So I went to, I was on FaceTime with him and I had him in the grocery store last night when I was shopping for ice cream. And he was like...
Does he know tea?
Of course not. These guys don't. They don't. None of these guys know team. And so I was like at the grocery store and I was like FaceTiming him and I was like, oh my god, look at what should I buy? What should I buy? What should I buy? And he was like grocery shopping with me on the FaceTime at like
You're
11
actually
a.m.
so delusional.
11 p.m. And it was so funny because I just had him right there. And like now that he's met me and he doesn't clock the voice in person, it's gonna be better.
I feel like nobody clocks your voice just because you're like 5'2" and tiny.
No, but even on FaceTime, because you know how you sound different through phones.
Right.
I always FaceTime them first to see like, okay, are they gonna say anything about my voice? Because usually it's a dead giveaway.
Or you send your voice message.
Yeah, I'll send voice memos, and if they send one back, I'll happy. Then I'm like, okay, I'm in the clear. But if they don't, then it's kind of like, okay. I've only ever had one person ever like
question it.
Yeah, he didn't even question it. He just blocked me right after. He was like, he knew. You know? I mean, like, right now, this isn't the voice that I put off.
Okay, so go ahead and do your voice.
Okay, so for example, let's say, like, we're grocery shopping, right?
Okay.
I'll be like, oh my god, like, I want to buy, like, these, like, grocery bags, but, like, I can't have enough money for it. Oh my god, like, wine? Do you like wine? Ah!
So you sound like a bimbo.
Yes, but obviously I don't talk like that, you know? I'm usually more slower.
Okay, go again.
Okay, so you're a guy. Talk to me.
Hey, baby, what kind of wine are you buying, babe?
I'm not really a big fan of like red wine just because it stains, so I'm going to do white wine. But I do love bourbon, so if you can get that, go ahead and get it for me.
What the fuck? You sound like a dude.
No, I don't. Wait, let me explain myself. But yeah, and so like it always works all the fucking time. But what makes it more fun is if you put a lot of energy into it. Because then they're so focused on like this hype up bitch that they don't focus on the tone. So like all my voice memo, I'll play some later to like like my voice.
You have them saved?
Like they're in their messages, so they're still there, you know?
Okay, got it.
I'll literally sing to guys and like, I don't know, they just don't ever clock the voice, and it's really rare if they do, because I always think my voice is my biggest giveaway.
Do they ever clock your dick because you don't tuck?
Oh, Danny, what are you doing?
Oh, I thought it was funny.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, to me, I love online dating because it's like my own personal game. What about you, Danny? Do you like online dating?
You know, I used to like it a lot more, I think, when I was younger. I'm getting older now.
How old are you?
I'm getting quite old, you guys. I don't want to say it. But point being is that whenever I try to use Tinder or Bumble, just seeing my age in the corner next to my name just trips me the fuck out.
Why don't you lie about you know, people lie about their age all the time, right? Why don't you just lie about it?
Because, Elena, some of us just, you know, are honest people and don't do everything, like, wrong. I don't know. I actually try to be honest, at least for the most part. But I don't know. I mean, online dating when I was younger was like super fun. I met so many cool guys. I dated a lot of cool people. I mean, I met like a couple of my boyfriends on there, or like, you know,
exactly. Yeah. Do you see, like, people always have this like image of like, oh, online dating is really bad, but it's kind of like all my boyfriends that I've ever had came from Tinder.
I don't know, it's just as of recent, like as I'm getting older, like meeting people in person just seems so much more genuine, and like, yeah, I don't know, I really like it.
I mean, yeah, because there's no, like, motives. Like, I feel like when you're meeting online, it's kind of like there's already intentions set. You go on that app looking for something, you know?
Right.
Or you have your mind made up. And you don't want to tell them what it is. Like, guys would literally be like, oh, I'm just, like, seeing where things go. No, they came on there for sex. They already have it all made up. But in person, it's kind of just, like, you never know what anyone's story is. Maybe, like, that guy doesn't even have a dating app. He's just out because he's having a boys' night, you know? And, like, he's different than a guy who would, like, voluntarily.
Actually, I wrote that down, so I took notes. One of the things that I hate about dating apps is that if they're on there, you can't assume that you're the only girl he's talking to. You just have to assume like it's The Bachelor and there's all these girls competing for his attention, and it's very stressful, actually.
And the one thing I hate about it is kind of just like, you're right, like you do know there's like you do know how the dating app works. The same way we're talking to multiple guys on there, they're talking to multiple girls on there.
I'm a very, very, very jealous person.
Danny's also a serial dater as well.
I'm not a serial dater. I'm a whatever. Anyways,
she's a serial Snapchatter.
Not anymore. I only had my Snapchat streak with, what should his name be?
Ghost. His name was Ghost.
Don't say that.
That's not his username though. You know that, right?
I know.
So they can't find him. It's just his header name.
Whatever.
But yeah,
I ghosted him in the long run, but we'll get to that one.
That one's a whole other episode.
That's a whole episode
where Danny will have the floor.
Anyways, I feel like, what was I even saying? You cut me off.
You're a serial Snapchatter.
No, before that.
oh, honey, the tequila's kicking in. And it is not an upper like I thought it would be. It's a downer.
It's depression. You guys, if anybody wants to know why I'm acting so weird in this video, disclaimer, I'm going through it right now.
Yeah, he's going through so much. And you know what? As a friend, I'm trying to be there for her, but it's just really hard because I can't relate. But you know what, babe? Like, I'm trying.
You see, the thing is that I ended everything because it just wasn't working out. You know, sometimes you fight and you fight and you fight, and you just have to be the one to pull the cord. Okay, on to what I was saying.
Tears already on her fucking face, and she's like, anyways.
My Euphoria makeup with my gems. Can you see it? I put two little gems right there.
No, but I saw this meme, and it was saying how it was kind of like, you can go on a date with a guy from, like, you can imagine going on a date. And the reason why dating nowadays never goes anywhere, because, like, let's say, Danny, you go on a date with this guy, right?
Okay.
And things are good.
Right.
But you're like, you know what? I can find better. So you go back online, start swiping, start talking to more guys, and you're like, okay. And so you start entertaining other guys.
Right.
And when you're doing that, you're not giving the one guy you went on a date with a chance because you're entertaining other guys all trying to find better. Mm-hmm. Vice versa with men too. Like, they go on a date with a girl, let's say she doesn't put out. He goes home, finds another girl who does. And it's kind of like, there's
just so many little expectations that, you know, yeah. And that's why some people, like, talk about what they're, like, you know, but people lie all the time. And, you know, it's really, like, hard to,
you can tell someone, like, oh, like, I'm just, like, I'm only talking to you, but it's like, you don't know what they're doing. They're still on that dating
I
app.
think that's what I was going to say, is that how I'm such a jealous person.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about that. A jealous person.
That I just drive myself crazy. Like, I will literally make myself mad even thinking about the guy that I'm kind of interested that I met on Tinder texting another bitch from Tinder, even though he has every right to do so because we're not together. I'll just play the scenario out in my head to the point where it will physically make me sick and I will miss a meal or I will, like, throw up. Like, I'm actually insane.
And that's why it's so, like, interesting going on dating apps and trying to find love on there, because, like, half the time it's like like a hit or miss. But it also depends on the people as well, because, like, there are good guys who go on there looking for actual, like,
yeah, there
love.
Definitely are.
And and there's also bad guys who just go on there looking for one thing. To me, I don't think it's, like, a bad thing or a good thing to go on a dating app. I think, like, dating apps is, like, a platform for single people to come together, and how you choose to use that app individually is up to you.
Right.
And up to the person. So, like, to sit here and be like, oh my God, all dating apps are bad, online dating is bad. And it's like, well, necessarily no, because I feel like a dating app essentially is kind of like a bar. It's where people go, like, single people go to mingle and meet people. But instead you're doing it online. So it's kind of like, that's how I think of it. And, like, I don't know, it's not necessarily like a bad thing. It's just like a platform for single people to come on, and how they choose to use the platform is up to them. Some for sex, some for actual love, some for, like, friends. Like, it's all depending on the people. So it really depends on who you meet. So, like, the app itself and online dating isn't bad. It's just the people who go on there using it for the wrong reasons, misleading that information. But another reason why people don't like online dating is because of this.
Oh, yeah. So definitely that. So basically when you meet up with them and they don't look like their photo.
I'm kind of like, fuck.
Does that happen with you? Do you feel like that happens with you?
No, it's never actually happened. It's always people are like, I mean, like, I will admit I Facetune and I face app the fuck out of my photos. Like,
oh, she said it.
I don't care if it doesn't look like me. I want that photo to look posh and perfect, you know?
Right.
Like, because the thing is, I've never ever met someone in person where they go, that doesn't look like her. Like, it's always like, oh my gosh, she looks better in person, or like, she looks better in person.
I always get that I look better in person, so I'm like, okay, I guess that's a good thing.
It's a good thing, but, like,
I'm like, is that a good thing though? Like, did you just call me ugly?
No, but they're saying the altered version that you make yourself is ugly, but in person you're actually, like, more naturally pretty is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or, like, what they're saying, because there are some times where I look at my old Facetune and I'm like, oof. I'm like, what was I thinking?
Are you saying that I Facetune really bad?
No. I'm saying, like, I'll look back at my old Facetunes.
Wait, why did you think I was in Oklahoma?
No, Danny.
Okay, I'm
sorry. Saying, like,
it's a joke.
I know. But, like, I'm saying, like, back then I will look at my photos and be like, oh my God, this was hideous. Why did I post that? You know? And then when they meet you in person, like, oh my God, wait, you don't look like that photo because, like, you edited yourself all weird.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, I'd rather be told that I look better in person than looking better in photos, because you can always alter photos.
Do people say that a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the guys are like, you're more gorgeous in person, this and that.
I feel like that's also something guys say though. Like, do they actually mean it, or is that just like a compliment? That
I think
people,
they
like,
do mean it,
spew
because
out?
I've also talked to some guys where they're like, oh yeah, she didn't look like her photos. You ever have guys tell you that?
No, guys have said that to you.
I'll always ask guys like, oh my god, so how's online dating for you? And they'll be like, oh my god, it's stressful. Like, girls don't look like their photos are usually like a couple pounds heavier in person, this and that. And
oh my god, has anyone ever called you fat?
well, I mean, we'll talk about it, because remember that the police guy at okay, so we'll just talk about it real quick.
Oh my goodness.
I met this guy at it wasn't like an online dating.
It was like
thing.
a bar in Newport.
Yeah, I was at a bar and he had a few drinks, and like I was like, oh, and me and him were just talking. And he was like, oh, what's your Instagram? And I gave it to him. And homeboy starts pulling out, looking at his photos. And he was like critiquing them, and he was like, and I'm like, the fuck do you mean, And he goes, I mean, I don't know about that waist, but you are pretty in person. And then he came up to me and he goes, also, I think you kind of like lined your lip liner out of your lip line. And I was like, oh yeah, like he's basically calling me out for overlining my lips. And I told him,
I'm still stuck on that. Your waist doesn't look like that in person.
Right.
Like, who says that? I would have punched him right then and there.
And he's a police officer too.
No, literally, my friend knows that guy and was like, oh, he's such an asshole. Like, why are you guys hanging out with him? And I was like, I don't fucking know. Like, Elena likes to hang out with him.
Obsessed with him.
I was hanging out with his friend.
He was hot, baby.
His friend was hanging out with me, and his friend was a jerk, too. His friend...
They were both dicks, honestly.
...was so annoying. Literally, like,
he was hot.
Buying me all these shots, which is fine if I was, like, in the mood for shots. I wasn't, though. And then I wasn't drinking them, and he was, like, getting mad at me for not drinking them. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't ask you to buy this for me. Like, what are you doing? Anyways, what were you saying?
He was weird. And then he got kicked out for putting his finger in
and then that same guy got kicked out for putting his finger in people's drinks. He was just an asshole overall. Oh my god, he literally was... So he ordered me a margarita, right? Mm-hmm. And then he goes, you're not like a prostitute, right? And I was like, what the fuck are you saying? And he goes... Yeah, I mean, you haven't kissed me or anything, and I just bought you a drink. Goes to the bartender and goes, you can return that. She's not getting this margarita unless she kisses me. So I kissed him, and he goes, okay, bring it back. He tried getting rid of my drink. He's actually a psycho. And no, it makes sense that he's friends with that awful cop guy calling Elena fat.
And then later he goes, yeah, he basically calls me out for my over lip line. And then I told him, I was like, yeah, in kindergarten I had trouble with coloring in the line, and that habit never grew out of me. So that's why I went out of the lip line. But he was just like critiquing my photos, and then he started scrolling more and more and more. And he was like, I didn't tell you this. He goes, I mean, that side profile doesn't look like this. He was like, your jawline isn't as sharp. But you know what? He was like, I will give it to you. You are hot in person, but to say you look like this? And I was like,
why would he do that?
Because he was drunk.
No, he was short. How short was he?
5'11", 5'10".
No, he wasn't, because I'm 5'8", and he was like my height.
That's what he claimed he was.
He had little man syndrome. It was obvious.
I think that's what it was, but yeah. And so that was the first time I ever had anyone do it. Then again, he was drunk. Me not wanting to believe it.
He had nice arms.
That was it.
That was it.
That was it. He had a nice face, but...
It was all right.
And so, yeah. And so, like, a lot of guys will be like, oh, yeah, like, this girl didn't look like her photos. And sometimes I'll, like, make a dating account as a man just to see my competition.
What?
Like, I'll make a Tinder. I'll switch my gender.
Can't you literally just put that you're also into girls?
No, because then it only shows girls who are into, like, girls as well. Do you know what I mean? So if you put it as to, like, you're a guy and you like straight girls, and it'll show you all the straight girls.
I just told Elena actually really fast, I want to download Bumble BFF and make new friends with girls because we don't have that many girlfriends. But
there's a reason for that, because I feel like girlfriends can't relate to us. But then we also don't want tranny friends because they're also
We literally
shady.
only have, like, your cis friends, my cis friends.
And we have each other, and that's enough. Honestly, I'm fine with just Danny in my entire life. Like, I honestly am fine with just that. I don't need any more bitches in the group.
So, we're gonna get married after this, you guys. Mm-hmm. You can, we'll, like, vlog the wedding.
And it'll be amazing. It'll be cute. But, yeah, and so, like, where did I leave off?
What do you mean? We were talking about how awful you-know-who was being.
I know the police... Oh, fuck. I literally just lost my brain, like, my train of thought. But,
He was saying that your chin wasn't sharp.
No, after that.
I started talking about the shitty best friend.
Oh my god, I lost my train of thought. Anyways. What's the next one?
Let's see what else we have in this handy dandy little notepad. I feel like Steve.
She's a student.
No, I feel like Steve from Blue's Clues.
Is that
You know
the
how he
white
has
guy?
Yeah. Anyways, okay, let's see. Oh, I made this one. They could be psycho and murder you.
Wait, that actually just happened. How
Did
funny.
it?
Yes. This girl met up with this guy and she got killed.
Where?
Very rarely does that happen, though.
Okay, well, I've seen every horror movie out there, and, like, it's so scary. You just never know these days. This guy got shot in the head outside the Walmart that I go to. Not that
How
I
do
go
you
to
feel
Walmart.
about, like, getting picked up, Danny?
What do you mean
Like,
getting
first
picked
dates,
up?
old-fashioned, I'll come pick you up. Do you like that, or do you like to meet there?
Well, I was saying how, like, they could be psycho and murder you, so I made a list of notes, like, on how to, like, not let that happen.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, always carry pepper spray. Every girl, gay boy, everyone, you know.
Pepper spray
boys
is-
and girls,
pepper
just
spray is
all
cute.
people. Carry pepper spray. If you want to get really crazy, I have a knife in my car. Am I supposed to tell them that? But whatever.
The thing with knife and tasers is you have to get, like, decently close to them, which is already, like,
Well, if they're already
interesting.
attacking me, whip it out of the console.
Yeah, I mean, I
Start
guess.
stabbing them in their neck. Go psycho
Commit
on
murder,
their
it's
ass.
fine.
Dude, they're trying to commit murder on you. Don't go to their like house right away. Like, make sure that you like hang out in a public setting.
And you know how people will always be like, on the, oh, come over. We can, like, oh, I fucking hate that when they go, oh, yeah, come over. Do you want to come over? We can cook dinner. And it's kind of like,
Right.
I mean, I will sometimes have guys come over to my house on the first date.
No, you're really, I mean, like, honey, you're so stupid because you do that all the time. And,
Oh, I
like,
do
you
it all
got
the-
robbed. Like, not here, but, like, you got robbed, like, very recently. And I just think that you're so stupid for just trusting every guy. You have so many
I don't
expensive things here.
I don't let a lot of guys sleep over.
You don't even have a lock on your door that has all your purses and handbags and, like, everything.
I'm a daredevil. No, but yeah, I will have a lot of guys come over for, like, so first dates, I like to paint, like, the perfect housewife. I'll cook you dinner. I'll cook you dinner. Danny always tells me, she's like, why do you cook these guys dinner?
I'm like, why are you giving them the girlfriend treatment on the first date?
because I'm always just kind of like, oh yeah, I'll cook us dinner.
You poisoned him.
No, one time I had this guy come over and I said, I'll cook us dinner. And so we live right by PF Chang's. So I told him, I was like, let me know when you're on your way. It's really important that you do let me know when you're on your fucking way.
Wait, why?
And so I ordered takeout. I went to go pick it up and I took it all out of like the boxes and I put it in like little bowls and I put it in the oven to like reheat. And then I took a bunch of like frying pans and stuff and I threw it in the sink to make it look like I was cooking. And I took a bunch of utensils, like spatulas.
So you willingly made more dishes for yourself.
No. I just laid them in there to look like, I just washed them
Got
while
it.
the food was like sitting. But it's in the dish, so it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay. So that's what he's seeing. And I'll be like, oh my God, sorry for the mess. I was cooking all day preparing this, you know? And then they'll be like, oh my God, your food's amazing. And I was telling them like, yeah.
Wait,
Like,
did the guy like have any clue? Was he like, this kind of tastes like PF Chang's?
No, he didn't.
He's like Panda Express?
He didn't. Because sometimes I'll throw occasionally like my real shit in there too. Like I threw in like the chicken teriyaki that I made in there. And then like
You're actually
so there were
crazy.
some food that I bought and then some that I actually cooked. And so I just threw some in there so it's like it has like my own taste to it. And he was like, oh my God, your cooking's amazing. Bitch, when he came over, I was wearing like this cute little dress with like these heels looking very like housewife in a dress.
Oh, wait,
cooking.
is it that era where you had like that really cute housewife 50s era?
Yes.
Oh my God,
It
you're
was that
so
era.
funny.
I've had so many eras, you guys. Right now I'm going through like my stepmom era. I'm Danny's
Yeah,
stepmom.
we call her my stepmother, which is why some of you guys have probably seen that caption on some of my Instagram stories. It's pretty funny, actually.
Basically, so I will do that because like first dates, I think it's so funny because it kind of just like you're not really showing who you are entirely yet. So it's kind of like, so for me, I like putting like my best foot forward. I always tell myself, do what you have to do to make them fall in love. And so I will usually just portray myself as like the perfect woman, like everything, until they're kind of just like, oh my God, this bitch is wife material. And then I don't talk to them again.
Why don't you talk to them?
Like that one guy on my birthday that I was seeing for like 4 days straight. So I saw him for 4 days straight. We hung out every single night. And then on my birthday, he came out with me too. Remember? You met him.
Of course I remember. I just think that that was a stupid reason for you to end it.
Whatever. On my birthday, he came out. He got me a bouquet of flowers, and he came out to my birthday literally like last 2 weeks.
He wasn't that cute though.
He was super cute. Danny's just tripping.
No, he wasn't. You could have done better.
He was super cute. He was super cute.
Really? Because then why does say he wasn't that cute?
Because, well, have you seen the guys that are talking to? Yeah. Period.
Stop. That's my friend.
Anyways, Elena, cut that out. Anyways, he was 6'3". So already I was.
So that's why you thought he was cute.
Yeah, he had a cute little trench coat, and then on my birthday we went rock climbing. And he showed up to rock climbing. He got me like a bouquet of flowers, which was super, super cute. And I was like, oh my God, that's so adorable. And so we were hanging out for 4 days straight. Went to the movies and everything. And
what movie did you guys see?
We went to go see The Amazing Spider-Man. No, right. Spider-Man No Way Home.
I thought you already saw that.
But then I went to go see it with him again.
Oh, that's awful, Elena.
It was not because he didn't know that I hadn't seen it yet. So I saw that with my ex. And later, 2 weeks later,
I would have been crying the whole time.
32 weeks later, I was kind of like, oh my God, do you want to go see Spider-Man? I haven't seen it yet, you know? And the whole time I'm kind of just like, oh my God, you know? And he was just kind of like loving it. He was like, oh my God, yes. And I'm like, wow, I had no idea that was happening. Wow.
I would have been like, I feel like this is about to happen. And it happens. And I'm like, am I psychic? I would have totally done that.
So we went to the movies, and the next day, I was kind of like, what are you doing? I want to see you. And he was like, okay. Like, I was really persistent with it. And so later I told him, I was like, for my birthday, I want to go rock climbing. Let's go rock climbing together. So him and I went rock climbing. He took me this as a surprise.
How was it? Were you scared of heights?
I thought that I was never afraid of heights until I actually went up there.
I'm so scared.
And once I was up there and I looked down, I was kind of like, fuck, what did I get myself into?
I just watched Love Hard with Nina Dobrev, and they go rock climbing in it, and she's like freaking out. It's so funny.
But like, it wasn't once you're up there, it's not that bad. And so we went rock climbing, and then afterwards we went to the bar. He met all my friends. I met all his friends. He met Danny. Danny met him, and it was cute. Keep in mind, this guy did not know T. And so I'm such a whore for what I'm about to say.
You're so awful.
The next week, no, not the next week, the next day, went to the movie theaters to go see
this story, you guys.
We went to go see, I think it was the 365 or whatever.
365 days?
No, it was like the movie with like the agents, the super spy agents. Anyways, I need to rewatch that because the whole entire time the movie theater.
What happened, Elena? Why don't you tell the audience?
So Danny's at the home. Danny's at home.
I'm at the
home. I went
home.
to go see a movie. I come back and I'm telling Danny about it. I'm like, Danny, oh my God.
I'm like sitting there. I'm like, tell me, like, how was it? She goes, the biggest thing happened.
So we go to the very top and we start making out like crazy. We start touching each other. We're in the theaters on the very top row, so no one sees us. And these
I'm
are
already laughing.
These are the theaters where like the seats recline back and then the shoulder pad lifts up so you can cuddle. It's like a bed. So we're literally making out and like my tits come out. He starts sucking my titties and then his dick comes out.
Was it big?
Oh my God, it was so big.
Like how big? Like go.
It was so thick too.
That's not big. Like that, you mean?
No, for like on a man's body, it's pretty big.
On a white man's body.
Yeah. And so his dick comes out. I start sucking it like crazy. And then here's the funniest fucking part ever. I was getting really horny. So I was like, I'm going to get myself off. And he was like, let me eat your pussy real quick. Let me eat your pussy. Let me eat your pussy. And he was like, let me finger you. I want to finger you. And I'm like, no. I'm going to get myself off. So I put my hands in my pants.
Oh my God.
So I'm like rubbing above like my dick like this as if I'm rubbing my clit. And so
how did you know you were doing it right?
So he's just seeing this motion, okay? And then later when he's not looking, I'm like making out with him. I start grabbing my dick and I start getting myself off. I'm like getting myself off.
So at this point, you guys, she's jacking herself off in this movie theater.
And he at this point, he already gotten off too. He came all over my tits. He came all over my fucking tits in the theater. I literally just held it up like this and he just shot it all over my tits. And then I cleaned it.
You should have let him titty fuck you. Like.
Oh no, we did. He was like smacking his dick on my tits and everything. It was a lot of things were happening, but he was like, "No, I want to get you off." And so I'm like, "Okay, get myself off." And then he was like,
"Not touch you,"
because I wouldn't let him. And then he was like, "Please."
But why did he like what?
He was like, "I want to feel how wet you are," and I'm like,
"Oh man!"
I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so wet." Me not being wet at all because
I would have been so scared, Elena.
No,
like, what if he just grabbed? You know how guys just go down there and do what they want.
Yeah, but I mean, I wasn't tripping about it. And so, like...
He get punched in the face.
I was literally, like, jacking off in the theater, you know, while he wasn't looking. And then when he would look over, I would go like this, mix the motion up, like I'm rubbing my clit and stuff. I came. We both came. And then we laid back down. And then he got hard again. And And then later I went home. No, I didn't go home. We went to the park. He walked into my car, and then I sucked his dick somewhere in the parking lot.
Again?
Yeah.
After he already came?
I couldn't help myself. It was so big. And then I went home, and then I just ghosted him.
No, you guys talked a little bit after.
We did, but then I ghosted him.
You ghosted him at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I thought that was so funny, because I was telling Danny, I was like, how hot is that? This guy goes out with me for 4 days straight, sees me every day. And then I hook up with him. And then I ghost him.
So he's probably still thinking about you.
Oh, no, he texted me today, and we were talking for a bit.
Saying what?
He said, let me read it to you. He said,
who gonna sleep, babe?
He said, still sad you ghosted me for 4 days. And I said, oh, shut up. No, you're not. And he goes, yeah, I'm a little hurt. And I go, no, you're not. And he was like, yeah, I don't know you. I can't be mad. And I said, exactly. You'll live. And look, you did. And he goes, and then, yeah, the rest was just kind of like, whatever. But he was like, you made me mad. You made me sad. And I'm like, no, you fucking didn't. Like, shut up. Like, you're fucking like, you didn't care.
He chose his own fate.
Yeah. And so later now we're talking, and he was like, I want to see you tomorrow. And I'm like, perfect, we can go out tomorrow, whatever.
You're going out with him tomorrow?
I think he wants to go out tomorrow. He wanted to go out tonight, but I said no.
Is that why I wanted to go out so bad?
I wanted to see my man. But he doesn't know T to this day. So if he's watching, I'm so sorry that I deceived you. I know I always told myself, like, if he doesn't know T, don't hook up with him, because at least then you can take it back and be like, we just hung out. But
you already made him come in you.
But my horniness got the best of me, and that's something that I cannot take back. But you know what? I can't unsuck his dick, and he can't uncome on my tits. So if he calls that gay, then you're a fag. You know? I'm kidding. But yeah, that's a little like a little story for me. But that was like,
you're gonna end up dead. You need to be more careful.
Even if that, oh my god. Tell them how, like, we'll just, like, out ourselves to avoid going on a date if we're, like, over it.
So fucking random, you guys. But we were talking today, and
Danny does it, too. Danny does it, too. We both do it to each other.
So I was like, I'm going to come over later. Like, we should film or whatever. Because I was with my friend and whatever. And then she was like, oh, I might go on a date. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, you should do that, and we'll hang out after. And she's like, well, no. Like, I don't feel like going. I haven't responded yet. And I was like, oh, like, okay. And she's like, well, maybe I'll just tell him I'm trans. So she tells him that she's trans, and he's like, oh yeah, like, that's not really my thing. And she's like, perfect. Like, she did it on purpose to get out of the date. And like, I was like, oh, I've done that before too. Like, when you're not really into a guy, but you keep putting it off, like, hanging out because you're just like not fully into it. And your last little bit of hope, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to tell him I'm trans to like make sure that he doesn't actually want to hang out. And like, I've had it backfire where he's like, that's okay, baby, let's still hang out, and you have to.
And then by then like, if they do that, it's kind of like, okay, fine, I will hang out with you.
Like, maybe there's something worth checking out.
But like, usually it's like,
but yeah, there's so many times where they're like, oh, that never mind then, and you're like, yes.
And I'm like, oh no, I'm so sorry, because like, I feel bad flaking or like just canceling, so I'm kind of just like, before we go.
I think everyone does that. It's like the one time trans girls have a secret weapon that we can use that's like, you know, benefits us, you know, because we don't have that many things. So
we have a weenie.
Obviously. But anyways, what
else, Daniel?
Yeah. No, that's kind of like all I wrote. I was kind of just like talking about murder and stuff and like the dangers. I don't know.
Do you ever get scared of being murdered when you go on dates?
Oh my god, funny fact. So I was just with my brother. It was his 30th birthday, and I was like, let me take you to go see Scream, because Scream is one of both of our like favorite like franchise scary movies. So I was like, let me take you. So on his birthday, I took him to go see Scream, just us two.
So you went on a date with your brother. That's hot.
Elena, that's so disgusting. Literally, you're disgusting. That's my brother.
And you went on a date with him, but yeah, sure, go off.
I'm so glad you don't have a boy like sibling, because you would try to fuck him. You're disgusting, Elena. You're actually inhumane.
Not the okay, go on.
Anyways, so keep in mind, I don't know if any of you guys have seen Scream, but in Scream 2, they go to the movies to go see. So in Scream, like in their universe, they made like a spoof of it, kind of like scary movie, but it's called not like a spoof, but like a retelling of what the actual event that happened.
Oh, yeah, what was the movie called?
Stab.
Stab. Yes,
right.
yes.
So in Scream 2, they're going to see Stab, right? And they're in the movie theater, and they die like a psycho like Scream is in there, like stabbing, you know, like
everyone.
Like Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Anyways, yeah. And so me and my brother, you know, you've heard of horror stories in real life of people going to the movie and like shooting it up. You know what I mean?
Wait, that's like an actual thing?
Yeah, that's happened before. Like psychos go to the movies and just like kill everyone.
Like a long time ago though, right? Not recent?
Not like super recent,
Yeah.
but shootings happen all the time. Either way, it's happened in the movie theater before. And so me and my brother were like, Scream is so the movie that somebody would mock it and try to redo it, right? So we're at the movie theater. We go in there. It's like a random Tuesday during the day. We're like, okay, like, you know, we go in there. The creepiest old man is sitting right behind us. You have to select your spots beforehand. And no one was in the theater. It was just him. And then us right in front of him.
You know, that was me and that guy for my birthday. It was me and him up here, and then this guy down here alone watching the movie. It was just us three in the theater.
Right.
And so him and I went to the top, and we fucked around. Because there was no one else sitting there, so we just went up and started hooking up.
Yeah, so once we realized that, like, I sat down, I looked at my brother, I'm like, Stevie, like, I don't feel safe. Like,
You should have moved.
we did. So I said, let's go sit up there so we can keep an eye on this guy. Like, it's just him and us in this movie theater, and I'm not about to get my head chopped off during a Scream 5 play. Like, you know, like, I'm not going to go to have that happen.
An old man just watching the
And
screen by himself. He's getting inspired.
His
babe.
wife, my brother's wife, is very like that too, like super paranoid about movies and stuff, like going to see them at least, just because like people are crazy these days, like you don't know. So we're sitting in the back, and I'm just like literally just watching the movie, and my brother's next to me the whole time. I'm like, he's supposed to be watching the movie, he's just staring at the guy because the guy had a blanket over him, and my brother would be like, Danny, I think he has a gun. Danny, I think he has a gun.
Wait, Stevie's paranoid?
Yes, so paranoid. And I'm like, relax. Literally, I have an eye on him. My older brother, you guys, literally sitting next to me, freaking out. And at the end of the movie, obviously we didn't die. He was just literally a nice old man trying to watch Scream by himself. But we're freaking out, like not watch, like
That's suspicious.
it is suspicious. The whole so the movie ends, right? And literally, my brother's like, I was protecting us. I was keeping an eye on us the whole time. I'm like, you were freaking out the whole time. Like, what are you talking about?
Over literally nothing.
Literally, like, but then I also, like, the whole time I was watching it, in the back of my mind, I was like, am I about to die during a Scream movie? Like, am I
feel
going to
like
make
he's
it out of this
anyone. He's
theater?
gonna do it, like, in, like, a full theater. That's more theatrical.
No, exactly. I was, in my head, I was like, if I was going to, I'm not going to say that. That's so bad. But you know what I mean? Like, if you plan on doing that to someone, you're going to do it on a busier weekend, not on, like, a Tuesday afternoon.
Make it more
where
theatrical, more fun.
Yeah, well, it was very scary.
Because just
I always think
if
about
he just kills you
murdered.
too, that's personal, you know. But if he kills the whole like theater, then kind of like okay, like he actually is a little
so
psycho.
bad. But it was just funny because that just happened, and Elena just asked if I was ever scared about getting murdered.
Have you ever gone to a car with a guy and then felt unsafe?
Yes, Elena. Literally, you've gone out with the same guy.
Who?
Bobby's cousin. You DM'd him on Tinder.
Who's Bobby's cousin?
So this guy, okay, so keep in mind, I'm not gonna say like anything because I don't want this video to get taken down, but I went out on a date with this guy. Turns out it wasn't actually a date. He took me to this like abandoned parking lot behind these corporate buildings, and yeah, I just thought I was gonna get murdered. I'm just gonna end it there. But anyways, Elena ends up going out with him like 2 years later. Like I meet Elena and she's showing me this really hot guy on Tinder, and I'm like, ew, I hate this guy. That guy's a psycho.
And then basically he took advantage of Danny.
Okay.
Without her consent.
He took advantage of me without my consent, which I'm totally fine, you guys. Don't worry.
And so I
Anyway,
messaged
went
him.
to therapy.
I messaged him and I was like, oh my God, you, my friend. And then he was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, you, like my friend. Fast forward, him and Danny gets over it. I start fucking him. And this boy, till this day, best sex I've ever had. And I don't know why. But I started fucking him raw so much. Like, we would fuck all the fucking time.
I actually hate him. He's so creepy.
Yeah, but he has the best sex game ever, ever, ever.
I don't remember it that way.
Well, you know, mine was very like... But anyway, so he had like good dick. And so, flash forward later, I was fucking this other guy as well. And then later, I see them two on one of the guy's story, and I'm like, oh my God, how do you guys like know each other?
I fucked the other guy too.
Oh my God,
I gave him to you.
We both did.
I was hanging out with, I'm going to say this guy's fucking name. No, I'm not going to say his name.
Okay, so basically, the first guy, we'll call him Mike, okay?
So Mike did that to me. Elena,
and then I started fucking Mike after.
And then I met George. We'll call him George. I met George, hooked up with George, and then she met George after.
And then I fucked George. I started fucking George.
This is what we're talking about when we say the trans girl like pool for dating is so small. So fucking annoying.
And then later, I saw Mike on George's Snapchat, and I was like, oh my god, how do you guys know each other? And he goes, oh, we're cousins. And I'm like,
so awkward.
What the? But here's the funny part, is Mike is very DL. And so I told Mike, I was like, oh, look.
Makes sense. He took me to the back of a fucking corporate building for our date.
I was like, oh, you know, I fucked your cousin George, right? And he goes, really? I had no idea. And George is older, so he kind of looks up to George. And then he was like, don't tell George about us. And I was like, oh, I won't.
Wait, I thought Mike was... There's George is... And Mike is...
Bobby's older.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you told Mike about it.
Yeah. I was like, I was like, you know, I fucked your cousin, right? And he was like, okay, well, don't tell him about us. And I was like, I won't. What do you think I did? I told the cousin. I said, you guys are both fucking me. How funny is that? And then I was like, so like threesome? And he was like, no, he won't be down because he's the L. But I'm like, but you already know, like, we're all fucking each other.
That's so funny because, okay, Mike seems, even though he was like an awful human being, and if you're watching this, like, I hate you, he seemed very, like, classy. He had a nice car. George, on the other hand, just, like, so scummy. Even though he was nicer, he just, like, I think he had a pickup truck. It was just very, like...
Yeah, and he's older. Get your life together, babe.
Like, very opposite people. It was just funny to, like, you know, the way that is. But
I mean,
I would have, like, not
though.
assumed that they were related at all.
Wow, his dick game was so good.
Oh, my God, Elena, that's so inappropriate.
I should hit him up again.
Okay, let's not. Can we just leave him in the past?
Let's talk about it. I remember, like, I was fucking him and he was like sweating and I would like lick the sweat off his body because it was just like so hot. Like I was just so turned on.
Ew, that's disgusting. Wow. Elena, he's a bad person and I told you, why are you hanging out with him?
I'm not hanging out with him like 2 years. I haven't.
So why would you hit him back up now?
Because the dick was good. Bomb dick, Danny. Bomb dick.
That's not how I remember it.
Do you ever see family members on there?
Yeah, I saw my cousin Trevor on there once.
Did you swipe right?
No, we didn't match because I swiped left, you psycho. Why, would you swipe right on your cousin?
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't.
Danny, I sucked my cousin's dick. This is like my episode, my second episode.
We talked about it?
Well, you weren't here. I talked about it was a how I like full on like sucked my cousin's dick.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Then I found out later he wasn't my cousin.
You never told me this part.
Yeah, so I basically...
not your cousin?
I sucked my cousin's dick. And then I found out he wasn't my cousin. He was just this guy that moved into the house next to us. And we would always hang out as kids. And so my parents...
Why did you think he was your cousin?
Because my parents always told me, oh, that's your cousin. That's your cousin. That's your cousin.
Elena, I don't want to be a bitch, but you're actually fucking stupid. How do you not know if someone's your cousin or not?
Because I grew up with them. Dude, kindergarten.
Okay, great. When did you do this?
You don't remember.
You sucked his dick in kindergarten?
No. I grew up with him. Like, I've known him since I was in kindergarten. He was in like kindergarten as well. Like we grew up together. So I just assume like, and plus you forget, like you don't remember anything past. Do you remember anything about preschool? Hell no, you don't.
I never went to preschool.
I don't remember anything about like preschool going back. So like I don't even know if I had any cousins.
Though. I had a great time in kindergarten.
I just remember growing up with this guy next door, and that was told that I was my cousin.
So for the longest time, you thought your cousin lived next door.
I just assumed like, oh yeah, because you know why? Because the house under us, my grandpa lived there. So it just made sense.
Okay, I totally get that. But when were you ever going to tell me that it wasn't your cousin?
Oh, I thought I told you. But like, I found out later on it wasn't my cousin. It's just like this guy that I knew for a long time. So my mom was just kind of like, his mom and my mom were best friends.
So where are they now?
Well, my mom still hangs out with his mom. They hang out like
where
all the
is
time.
he? You should marry him if he's not your cousin.
He's married with a kid. I went to his wedding.
You never told me that. Can I see a photo?
Yeah, he's like a gangster. He's like an Asian gangster. But
it's kind of hot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's giving very like San Jose.
That dick made a baby, basically.
Why are you saying that?
Oh, that's hot. Like, you know when like
Elena, stop it.
You know when like guys like when you see like guys with like babies, it's kind of like, oh my god, that cock made a baby like that.
You know who's else cock? Did I say that right? Who else's cock made a baby?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
But like whenever I see guys with kids, I'm like, ooh, that cock made a baby like that fertile.
I always
cum.
feel weird dating guys with kids. It's just.
I mean,
like,
I wouldn't date it,
so
but it's just hot knowing, like, oh my god, like, this dick fucked a pussy and put a baby in it. Like, that's hot.
I've dated 2 guys with kids, and it's so weird.
Because you're juggling between, like, them and, like, their kid, and, like, you're constantly out.
And it's like, I can't be a mother.
Are you kidding? I would totally love to date a guy with a kid.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust anyone around you.
What the fuck?
Oh, you're gonna kill it on accident.
It's gonna be a
we don't know if
he.
it's
It's gonna be a
girl.
he. But I would love to, like, date a guy with a kid. Do you know how that would just fit into, like, my story right now? Like, this is my baby daddy. Like, that'd be so cute. Like, plus
You want to adopt a baby together?
the way that I look right now. Like, are you kidding? Like, I would totally.
You could be
fit
a
the mom
nanny.
vibe.
Oh. He feels bad for drinking all your bourbon.
How did he know?
I told him.
Why would you tell him that? I don't care.
Because.
But yeah, whatever. Anyways,
What were we saying?
me having kids, I would totally date a guy with a kid. Are you kidding? I would look like such a hot mom. Like, step mommy. I would love it. But you guys, that is all for today. Is there anything you want to plug, Danny?
Actually, yeah, I read one of the comments and it said that, like, my YouTube link wasn't working. Have you been, like, posting it at all?
Yeah, it's all in the description box. I don't know why. I'll double check again.
And just my OnlyFans. If you want to follow my Instagram, you could do that too.
My
Snapchat is. No, I'm just kidding.
if you want to get personal, if you want to exchange news,
I'm like, DM me if you want to exchange. We could be friends because I'm literally about to download Bumble BFF. So I need new friends.
Work.
I love having. Okay, I haven't made a new friend in, like, I want to say, like, 5 or 6
And it's eating
months.
Danny alive. She's like, I need to have a fucking new friend.
I just feel like I love all my friends dearly. I keep them so close, but I don't want to lose my social spark. I feel like I'm so awkward these days. I want to, like, get back out there and, like, meet a nice girl.
Plot twist, you end up dating her.
Oh my god.
You having a biological kid with her. Me, jealous, kidnaps her kid and leaves.
Stop.
It's very Rapunzel.
No, I literally, like, want a platonic new friend.
Why do you make guy friends? They're so much more fun.
We can't have guy friends, Elena. You know that.
They all want to fuck us. And that's what I love. It's kind of just like keeping them there but never fucking them.
Yeah, I guess.
I love having guy friends because it's kind of like I don't fuck them, so it's just kind of like they're always coming back for more.
I mean, I literally have 2 guy friends that I haven't hooked up with.
There you go.
How many have you had? Do you have that you haven't hooked up with? Oh, you've hooked up with all of them? Okay, got it.
No. I've had, okay, there's Bryce. Have never hooked up with Bryce. Jose, never hooked up with Jose.
Okay, so you have 1.
2.
1.
I just that's very you did. I did it, but you did.
I'm dead.
And then I had one that him and I were okay, so I had one
Daniel, or whatever his name was.
Who?
Oh wait, that wasn't his name.
I had one, No, I'm not gonna say his name because actually.
Oh right, the one that you said you know who it was gonna turn out like. Delete that.
So basically, there's this guy that I went to high school with, and I've been wanting him for all 4 years. And then after graduation, him and I fucked a lot. And then later, we became friends. We stayed friends, and then we would, like, fuck here and there. We'd hang out as friends, and then occasionally his dick would come out and end up inside me. I don't know how that happened.
Wait,
but like,
what? Who?
yeah, like we would hang out.
Who?
I'll tell you after the video, but we would hang
Wait,
out.
we're not talking about. Oh. No, you haven't to say the last name. I already knew who it was.
So I would fuck him a lot. Later, we would hang out, and like usually, I don't ever hang out with guys that I fuck.
I remember
like,
the first time that ever happened. We were at Apex.
Yeah, it happened there. But like usually, I don't hang out with guys that I fuck because kind of just like I lose respect for them afterwards. And then I've known him for like 5-6 years, and even after I fucked him, I was like, I kind of want you to go, you know. And I was like,
I don't know why you like that.
It's just weird. But like he's like the only person I like would fuck and then hang out with and talk normally. And
Aren't
like
you supposed to go visit him?
In Seattle, yeah. And then I'd fuck him again, and we just fuck a lot. But, oh my god, wow, we fucked a lot. God, I'm a whore. Anyway.
Would you let him come inside of you?
No, we always use protection. I'm really, like, safe about when it comes to sex. But, yeah, and so, like, we would fuck a lot, but we used to be friends. But, like, I have 2 guy friends that I never fucked.
I think that's a good amount.
That are so good with me in my life, like, right now, you know? Like, I know them all since high school, so it's been, like, I think 6-5 years now. And it's just, like... Danny's met one of them. I think Danny hooked up with one.
Oh, I did.
Danny hooked up with him, and I was like, Danny, you can't do that. Next week we're gonna talk about my fake father. Oh my god, I was telling Danny we need to go to speech class because I slur my words a lot and I smash them together.
And I have a stuttering problem, so it just makes sense for us to, go to a speech class.
I need to go to speech class.
Ironically, we have a podcast.
Yeah, and we it's all talking. Like sometimes I'll be listening and I'm like, what the fuck did I just say?
No, but I have social anxiety. I don't want to go to a speech class. Can't we hire like a private speech class?
I want to go to speech class so it makes it more fun. Like even right now, I'm like
going.
talking and I'm like, I can't even understand myself because I'm throwing all my words together and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with me?
I will kill myself before you put me in a speech class.
No, we're going to a speech class.
I'm literally not in college because I'm scared of speech.
Presentation time, Danny.
Oh my god.
But I love it. You guys, my OnlyFans, I just lowered the price from $35 to $20. So it's cheaper now. So you get all the exclusive stuff and it's cheaper. It's like $15 off. So you guys go subscribe.
And go subscribe to mine because I have very dirty things on there.
I record all of her content.
Very, very dirty. Elena, what kind of things are on there? Tell them.
I recorded this guy literally nutting on her face.
Do you hear that, you guys? That's so bad.
Go subscribe. Go watch. You tell them more. I take a lot of Danny's photos. All of, like, the sex tapes and, like, the blowjob videos on Danny's OnlyFans, I am usually the one recording.
This is my director right here.
Yep, I'm the one recording it. And then, yeah. And then I upload it on there. And me and Danny, or Danny and I, don't sell through messages. It's like a one-time you subscribe and it's all there.
Mostly because I don't know how to do it.
Like Netflix. Like, literally Netflix. But you guys, that's all for today. That's all we plug in. And yeah, until our next episode, you guys. Bye.